about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their side is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Commonwealth Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does your administration ensure that such enforcement action is done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
What will Joshua, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. What will such a man conduct make you wear vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, he was following the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commends the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Your respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This moment is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If someone then choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Comer today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they can. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to pride in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He He would never ever. The bad person, George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. A bad person, George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
We call the economy a labra. The country to our. The country, my people. Hey, nobody the country. No money, we die, no money the country. Just back up in the economy. Up in the economy, no money in the country. No money in the country, just back up. Hey, my people, we die, the business people, we die, business people, we die. Everywhere you get your cool start to pay, we say no money, just back up, during the garo, some of our children, they're going to school, we gotta pay rent, Hey. Just back up in the economy, labra, the country, just back up. You work the country to just back up, work bring money in the country, just back up the country. The country, hey, nobody in the country, my people. Hey, the money in the country. When you think. You tell it so. It can't count no solution, my people. Oh, the money, where you carry the money, we the business people will suffer, we suffer, not you, Najuo. Joseph Wakana Batemu, Nabatemu, Joseph Wakayani, Unga Canyon, follow Baka, Canyon Chuo, oh, you are the Chocolanto, Joseph Waka, Canyon Chu, Aquape Wanda Pawanumte, oh, Joseph Waka, Canyon Choya, so then Canyon, Joseph Waka. Joseph Waka, we used to cross it, we are turned about some money, but money was into we are coming. Joseph Waka, money was into we are coming, yeah. Money why you try we are coming, money why you try we are coming, money why you try we are coming, it was not there, even your own people they know no money, hey, money, just about every money, free money, free money in the country, we want road, we want bridges, we want overhead bridge, but we want food in our stomach. We cannot be looking at the brain, no studying our stomach. No money,
Hey, Joe, we are that money why yo. 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 Hey, money why you want yo. Joe, we are that money why yo. Joseph Parker, what wrong with you? Joseph Parker, what wrong with you? Joseph, you my Parker. Joe, we are that money why yo. When you pay a canyon money. Joseph Parker, when pay a canyon. Oh, kumi canyon yo. Hey, Joseph Parker. Oh, Yiswa. Jawi Ajio. Jawi Ajio. Yo.
and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Good day, good day, great day. But it's also a rainy day here in Painesville. Good afternoon. Thank you so very kind of people that you join us. Real Talk, we go real on this 20th day of May 2025. Great day, good day. We are excited as always. Yes, we've got the issues, betrayal, sycophancy, and a lot more. That is what you get when people see you as puppet. They use you. Another day, Real Talk, Kings 88.5. The reign of Judo Christopher. I'm Sam Andrews. As always, Sam Andrews. Grateful we are to God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe. He is the good God, faithful God, the God who exposes people with time, the God who gives the despot, the tyrant, the dictator time to repent, the God who allows the enemy of the enemies to sink or to dig under the enemy. Oh, there's a mean bad man laugh. Oh, great people, man. Yeah, good afternoon to all of you, wherever you are following. We're so excited, motivated as always. Yes, it's another day. Let's bring a few of you because you are coming in your hundreds and thousands. We can't get all of you on, but we'll try to get as many as we can, and then that will be doing it. Man Helenon M. Brown, USA, Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA, Saturday Woodward, Atlanta, Georgia, Hilton Willett Jedo, Greenville, Sino County, Felicia Swain, Badnuttsville. Yes, the Badnuttsville, the Regime Speaker Pilots, Theophilus Chie, District 17, Fatu Sharif, USA, Prince Dukley, Mambakli, Mangibi County, Stephen Fowler, Malu Fofana, 20th Street Sinker, Heron T. Toll, Junior, Caldwell, your residents, Benson Weir, Broad Street. Hey, my dear Junior brother, Stigo, Stephen Coco. Stigo, oh, the woman, how you laughing, eh? Yeah. Stigo, the one say, Wagata, and not easy, rough, no money, and that's true. We are time, they could do their businesses, they could do a lot more. We are time, it wasn't 100%. There were imperfections, but people's lives move on. People could get one or two things happening for them. People could make ends meet, and a lot more. They said, oh no, George, we are the bad man, the man wicked, the man suffering the people. Unity Party people use them. They now realize that all that they were saying against we are in favor of Unity Party people was just because Unity Party people saw, sorry to say, stupidity in their faces. Now they're regretting. They say no money in the country, and truly no money things. And not easy. They're regretting the damn thing and say, if we had known the job we are not going to stay there. My dear brothers, to go and laugh it. Where is she at? Okay, I will find her. She will come back. She will come back. She will come back. She will come back.
Just about we used to class it, we are there was some money, but money was into we are coming. Just about money was into we are coming, yeah. Money was into we are coming, oh. Money was into we are coming, oh. Money was into we are coming, oh. It was not there, oh. Even your own people they know no money, oh. Hey. Money, oh. Just about every money. Free money, oh. Free money in the country, oh. We want road, we want bridges, so we want overhead bridge, but we want food in our stomach. We cannot be looking at the brain, no study in our stomach. No money, oh. Hey, Joe, we have that money, why, yo? 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 Hey, money, why, you don't yo? Joe, we have that money, why, yo? Joseph Barker, what's wrong with you? Joseph Barker, what's wrong with you? Joseph, you my Barker, oh. Joe, we have that money, why, yo? When you can your money, Joseph Barker,
Hold on, let me finish. Prince Dukley, Habel, Magibi County, Stephen Fowler, Richard Gatti, So Clinic, your resident, Never pivot. Good to have you on, my dear brother. Hope that you are very fine. Joseph Kekula, Zuba Town, that's Dupo Road or somewhere else. Amara Jala Kamara, Paris Lobot, USA, New Jersey, Marta Puyu, Badnersville Estate, William Wulu, Civil Rights Spokesman, Caldwell, Ambassador Walter Buchu Morgan Jr., CDC Regular Intellectual Militant, Jordan Dole, Kwaduboni District, Lofa County, Seitu Jabo, Johnsonville, Alex Williams, D10, Stephen Yakadi, T. Max Zagenberg Leg, District Titan, Venetius Junior By, Nukutan, Claude de Poor, Moema Abento Kiadi, Virginia. Okay. You're running down like water, river running down the hill. Yes. Rising Sun TV. Yeah, Rita Christine Hits, Massachusetts, USA, Clady Allison, Delaware, USA, Joseph Kula, Kongbo, Gbakpolu County, Stephen Sia. Is it Sia or Sla? Minnesota, USA, Jumunkoli, your home, Jukontichie, your business center, Young Sedition. Is there across the bridge? Which bridge? Gabriel Tucker Bridge? Yeah, my dear sister, Orita Sunday Choir. Hi there. Hope that you are faring well. Good to have you on. Hope that you are doing good. All right. Molu, that's Mula Brooks, D15, and the chairman himself has just arrived. The chairman, Roman Rico, Kenneth Ball, Latupan for short, the common citizen chairman, the chairman for life, the one and only chairman. District Titan Intellectual Center. Good to have all of you great people. Hope that you're faring well. Okay. So let's get out of Liberia briefly, and then we can get to what we've had. We look at the hypocrisy in Liberia's politics. Well, it is not a news for us. We saw it. We talk about it. We knew that one day they will be exposed, mounting roadblocks, burning tires, and commuters stranded for hours. Kenya has been gripped by nationwide protests over rising fuel prices. Public transport operators say the least price hikes have pushed them to the brink, worsening an already severe cost of living crisis. The government has paused the strike for 1 week to allow negotiations, but many Kenyans fear the worst is yet to come. Rwanda foreign minister says Mozambique has secured funding to ensure the continued development of Rwandan troops in the insurgency-hit gas-rich Cabo Delgado province. Rwanda first sent troops to northern Mozambique in 2021 at the request of Maputo, helping to stabilize areas previously overrun by an Islamic State-linked insurgency. The announcement follows reports that the European Union may not renew its support for the mission. In March, Rwanda warned it could withdraw its forces if sufficient funding was not secured. The Ebola in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is causing severe panic and fear with rising cases. And lastly, Zimbabwe's government says it will return dozens of foreign-owned commercial farms seized during the 2000 land reform program, a move officials insist is not a reversal, but a legal obligation on a BIPA agreement. Supporters call it a step toward repairing international relations, while critics warn it could unsettle Black farmers who have lived and worked on the land for years. Those are some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. Let's get to what we've got on our plate for today. Well, the government says it has a plan for a clean city, a decent city, and they move out to remove people from the sidewalks everywhere in central Monrovia. The people are feeling the pinch of it. Thank God Almighty, those sellouts are not only seditions, Unity Party supporters, CDC supporters, MPC supporters, CMC supporters, supporters of Joseph Yimabwaga personally, and all of his government officials. Why it is true that everyone wants a decent city, but the reason governments in the past were a bit lenient because of the layout of the city. The layout of the city cannot allow a government to do what they want to do in terms of development. Every government comes with a plan, but the layout of the city serves as a stumbling block. The country was built, or the city was built for the number of people then. They did not project that in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the population will increase. They were not taking into consideration anything of a reproductive data that we have men and women, women giving birth here and there, the population will start to increase. Or they did not take into consideration all of those things. They were more political, they were more centralized in their thinking. Clearly, they were comfortable. So they felt that the country or the city was just okay for all of them. Fast forward, it is having a serious toll on government that comes. Unity Party think they can give the city a facelift. Not bad at all. But equally, you want to do it in a way that you would not be the one seen as the bad person and it will affect you. Almost everywhere, the Monrovia City people say it must be clean. The city must be clean. Nobody should say on the sidewalk and all those things. So if you look at it, hundreds of people are not only displaced, but they are out of business. Where can they go to do the business? If the one on the side, city police is there. If they wait until the night hour to hustle, city police is there to collect their products, their market. The government, the Unity Party government, has created an unbearable situation for the people. I cannot tell you how many in their hundreds are out of business. Meaning, not that they do not have the money, they do not have the products, but where do they go to sell the products? The government says, sit down nowhere, move nowhere. So they are internally displaced from a business perspective. Buyers can come the way, they can come across buyers. So most of them are just out. I spoke with 2 or 3 of them today before coming on the air. The other one said she sells this sandwich, and Because of that, they will wait until the night hour and then they try to fix it and bring it on the road. Even as that, they have to be very careful because city police officers passing all around, when they spot it, they take everything, they carry it, dry goods or wet goods or whatever the goods, they carry, and they say that they would never give the goods back. Yesterday, Unity Party people, when the city police was acting, they say, oh, that Joey has said the police, they just going around suffering the people, taking the people goods, all kinds of stuff they were saying. Sometimes we don't want to talk about this, but seditions are there because some of you people, some of you Unity Party people, you people were there and saying, George, we have set the police. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing to the Jefferson Koji can send here people to come take our goods and carry it. Today, Joseph Walker saying hey, people that Joseph Walker people taking your goods, you're out of job, you can do business. Some of you, now it's difficult for most of them to feed their household. It's difficult for them to continue paying their children's school fees because when nobody buying, you don't have anything. You feed in on the capital. When the capital wears out, what do you have? You have bankruptcy. Because it is the profit that you try to manage, and then why the capital maintains the business. So if you customers not coming, you're not doing anything at all whatsoever, you will get into the capital. And once you get into the capital, the next thing that you're going to experience is bankruptcy. That means the business will break down. That your own government, for seditions, for opposition people, they accept the life because that's their life. When I say that's their life, they're in opposition. So they are not, they don't depend on the government to protect them. They don't depend on the government to provide for them. They fend for themselves. But you who supported Unity Party and Joseph Yuma Boakai, you people who turned against George Weah and said George Weah said the police, Jefferson Koji said the police, taking our market, carrying all kind of people. Yeah, you used to be beating cop behind. They said the police people. Today, you're beat cop behind. Joe Boakai said the police. You saw what they're doing. At least you said we are said the police, but that was not we are said the police. That was the city police of the Republic of Liberia. We see them as the city police of the Republic of Liberia because we in opposition, we are mature. We will not call them Boakai city police, but we speak of the unruly behavior they exhibit, how they have displaced you people internally, how they have subjected you people to hardship, how they have caused confusion in your homes. Very shortly, you, the woman, you can't provide anything in the home. That man will leave you and start looking for another person that is viable, that is business driven. So y'all have to be careful. You're the women. And you, the men too, that doing business on the other side. When things not going, say the police displace you, and the woman managing some way, she will find some kind of option. So y'all have to be thinking that your government, these people, the woman say the police just moving all over, taking their goods, and they will not get their goods back. Yesterday, you people were beating cop behind. They said the police people, Jefferson Koji said the police, and I know nothing. They said they did it. Javier said the police. At least George Weah said the police, Jefferson Koji said the police. They used to come, do one or two things, they go, they allow you people to sell in the evening, in the night. That's why you people were all over your had that freedom. The rescuer in Joseph Boakai now is suffocating you. You know what they call suffocating? No way to breathe. No way to breathe. You're forcing it. You can't breathe. You're fighting to breathe. But air can come inside, air can go outside. That's what Joseph Yuma Boakai police doing to you, damaging your life. In the day, nothing for you. In the night, evening, nothing. In the night, nothing. We have set the police, as you all said, they were now we have set the police. They were the set police of the Republic of Liberia. But that's how you used to call them. So I'm saying it this way so that you will see now and know that you don't be too excited of a person that is coming. Don't portray that person as being good until you see the person's conduct. George Weah said the police, as you people were saying, Jefferson said the police, they were by far better, reasonable than Joseph Yeman Boaka said the police. The most devilish, deadly said the police that Joseph Yeman Boaka police. You people know, you see what they're doing to you. In a day, you can sell. In the evening, you don't manage to sell. In the night, nothing. At least Jefferson Koji said the police, when they move around 1 or 2, 30, 35, 40 minutes, you're back. You're selling all over. In the evening, you're selling. In the night, you're selling. Today, no, they say they want to keep the city clean. And the city is still dirty, nasty, stink. To the extent they're not saying that when you get your land, that didn't make sense. You get your land, and you can put anything on it. In 30 days, they will come and take the land. You had the city mayor showing so-called municipal law. You just look at you, go take somebody's land. You don't know how your fool get beat. Go take somebody's land. He said the mayor. Boaka should use you people as surrogates here. You go there and he said the mayor. He said that what the law said, when you get land, you can't do anything with it. The municipal law required that said the police take advantage of it and do it. Go take somebody's land that you will know. You said the mayor. Go take somebody's land. You will know. Your fool, your hand, start getting beat. You know. Go take somebody's land. Nonsense. You are not operating in a place. The thing that most of you United Party people, if you're not careful, you'll find yourself experiencing terrible things in life because the people just see you as hateful and they're returning the hate. They both see you as the enemies. But you people don't see yourselves as the enemy. All in the name of development, you want to do this, you want to do that, but you're going around to do it in a don't care way. So we feel for you people because you people are a mixture of all the political parties. Above that, you people are human beings. You people have families, you have child, you have children. You need to survive. You people are Liberians. And in every situation, there is something they call discretional leadership. Discretional leadership takes into consideration the condition of the people, looks at the government move, whether the government policy actually aligns with the reality, whether it will not have a damaging effect, whether it will be satisfactory to both parties. They take so many factors into consideration. And they will look at it and say, okay, so let us not suffocate these people. We allow them to do X, Y, Z while we do X, Y, Z. But what they're doing, they have displaced you internally. They have suffocated you. They're killing you slowly. Killing you. They're killing you slowly. When you can do business, you can do business. The man on the other side, he fighting to do the business, he will find some woman that is active, he will leave you. Likewise, the women. The child can go to school. The child can hardly be fed because the money is not forthcoming. Some of you are pregnant women. You need to save money just in case of emergency for delivery. There are a lot more you need to do. You need money. And how the money comes? The money does not come by imagination or feeling impressed of yourself that you are a human being or you're a supporter of Unity Party. It's doing something that will earn you the money. And if you cannot, if Unity Party is telling you not to do business at all in the name of keeping your city clean, what good is keeping your city clean? And then they are suffocating you and you still want to be supporting them. If I were you, I pray my way out of Unity Party. They're doing bad to y'all. Take it for a joke. The next one that come in, y'all will know. But it's good. It's good. So they had the political investigation today called juror tampering. That political gathering. I consider it a political gathering because the judge put himself in the position of a politician. He's at the whims and caprice of the executive. That which he should not have given credence to, he did because the president is vexed. But as we said yesterday, it can go anywhere. There will be no retrial. There will be absolutely nothing. A finish. Whatever happened over there, they will deal with it from a judicial perspective, but it cannot overturn the verdict. It cannot go to a retrial. It does not make any sense, and it is not readable in the law. Any attempt to do that, the country will be setting a precedent that will plunge it in future to, because you know why? Every time they'll make reference to that. So even the next government will say, we lose the case, and okay, so the juror said XYZ, so retrial. When they say no, then they will reference the 2026 ruling. In law, that what they call opinion, precedents. So that thing that ain't going anywhere. You leave it. They called them today. The investigation was behind closed door, and there was a tense argument amongst or between defense and prosecuting lawyers. One group said it does make sense for investigation. Another group, Arthur Johnson and his colleagues, said it didn't make sense for investigation. It does not fall within the ambit of this court if you want investigation. This issue is completely an isolated issue and should be treated an isolated issue. Meaning, if somebody claims tampering, it has got nothing to do with the verdict. It cannot overturn the verdict. It is not weighty enough to overturn the verdict. No, certainly not. It cannot. Working's right, on the other hand, said no. The court has the right to conduct an investigation. It falls within the law. Therefore, the argument from Arthur Johnson does not hold water. And then it went into a heated argument here and there. Very heated argument went in to the extent that it almost got personal. You can still see the practical instruction that all of you should try at all costs to get that Samuel Tueme in jail. You can still see it from the executive down. You can see how, when we tell you people that we have imperial presidency, the president wields so much power and authority and influence over the judiciary, the legislature. If you look at our system, everybody praises the president. Everybody praises the president. Everybody worships the president. The president sees himself as a god. You see that everywhere. Regime speaker openly stands in the midst of people and say, anything the president wants, it will pass. And several we can name. The president looks at the judicial branch of government and consider it nonentity and say he will do what he wants. And we can go on and on. The only country with a legislature that is afraid to summon the president on grave matters, the only country that is afraid and worships the president. If this thing was in South Africa, was in Kenya, was in any one of those countries, you have heard a summary of the president to explain. Do you know that all of the vital national issues unfolding with serious implications, Mr. President the legislature has the willpower to invite Mr. President to explain. Let me give you one. The president is not exempt. In this country, we make the president lazy because people worship him. The Guinea border situation, it was sufficient for the legislature to summon the president to give a whole understanding of that situation. He is the commander-in-chief. There is nothing wrong. The president is not above the law. The president is not above the judiciary. It's not above the legislature. It is only the legislature do not know its responsibility, so it throws it at the feet of the president. So the president just operates like a walk in the park. We have seen countries around the world, issues like this. Economic issue, the president is invited on security matters, given the sensitivity of it. Instead of summoning Joseph Boakai to stand over there and explain to them the whole situation with Guinea, they said they were running to border. Can you imagine? Look at how small, how tiny, how petty, how misguided we are in our own country called this place a sovereign place. Something that should have been done by the president. Call the president. You are the commander-in-chief. You control. You are the chief administrator of the territorial confine of this country. You manage the foreign policy of this country. Here is the situation we have with Guinea. You come and explain to the legislature that is representing the people, and the people through the legislators. Come and explain. They took onto themselves to run to border, to go do assessment. Anyway, that's the issue. So, the jury, that whole thing, ain't going nowhere. That vla ain't got nothing to do with that verdict. The verdict is finished, over. Boakai can try the best he can. He can use everything. Except Boakai now, the only option that is available to Boakai, which he cannot do. Tell the military, tell all the police people, you go to Samuel Tuah, you're grabbing, you care. That's the only option available. Other than that, nothing you can do, nothing to Samuel Tuah, nothing. It finished, it over. You'll never prove your case. Government never prove the case. One of the men, listen, if Unity Party depend on that Augustine Fire man, a Unity Party, if this government continue to depend on that man, they finish. That man is more partisan than a lawyer. The man, what kind of solicitor general decides a matter before it ends? He prejudices the case before it can even get started. He reaches conclusion that the judge will rule in their favor, no matter what, before the judge can even rule. If you consider that man a solicitor general, that man, Lola, solicitor general, that man is partisan. If you listen to that man how he talks, he's more partisan than lawyer. The man form opinion, he reaches conclusion of the matter before the matter can even be heard. The man is definitive that the judge will rule in their favor before the judge can even rule. The man goes about bragging that they have overwhelming evidence and the overwhelming evidence cannot prove itself. So all of them now, they're hiding behind the juror temporary to come back. If there is a retrial, then they start flexing their muscle again. But there will be no retrial. That issue with somebody saying the temper with them, it can be treated as a separate issue. That's integrity issue. It borders on the integrity of the judiciary. Who mends the people? Who takes care of them? That the government. Who assembled them? The government lawyer, everybody. So what you say, Chief, you lead that thing, yeah? Boakai, they want, yeah? No. No, my dear, you go sit down. Go sit down. Look for something else. Yeah? for something else. The Supreme Court is hearing presently Yeke Koluba's Bill of Information, and I am not too sure. I'm not saying I'm not sure. I'm saying I'm not too sure that Yeke Koluba or the court will rule in Yeke Koluba's favor definitively. Why I say that? I form my opinion from the majority bloc and minority bloc misunderstanding at the House of Representatives. At the close of the day, what did the court say? Say you go back, you settle it, you do this. What did they say? They call something on it. Say ultra viral. And then Fonati Kofa went back, a seasoned lawyer, a grounded lawyer in this country, went back with a bill of information. The Supreme Court say, oh, this is the situation. This man, yeah, you're wrong, the man. But I say, when you wrong, the man, the Supreme Court, you sit down on his side. In fact, they're a separate branch of government, so we can meddle. The decision taken there is final. Fonati Kofa say, no problem, you carry it. That's how that man became speaker. That thing, the high order, it was just, you know how Charles Taylor came to Liberia? The people didn't want to be intimidated. The atmosphere was tense. They didn't want to die. There were threats all over the place. Taylor heightened the atmosphere because he wanted the elections at all costs. He wanted to be president. He even went on to threaten the life of the late G. Henry Andrews when he said, not even if he, Charles Taylor, is not giving the elections, not even the angels in heaven could save him. Charles Taylor got the number he got. You can sense the similarity between how Charles Taylor came to power and how Richard Cohn got the speakership. The people who voted, the way they voted was not really a democratic preference or desire based on this man's capability. But because of the atmosphere that accompanied it, it was tense for several months. There were threats, so much so that the EPS boss looked at the former speaker and say, if you don't give up on being a speaker, we will take all government cards from you, we'll strip you from everything. Was that not a threat? It was a threat. What did Mr. President himself say? Mr. President himself said he can't work with a man. So the guys look at it and say, oh, let's put this thing behind us. Because vast majority of the citizenry of this country got fed up with that whole stuff and say, my man, your ticket. In no time, they organized that the kangaroo stuff and that man, they say he's speaker. That's how he got that thing. But not that he's capable or enough, not that he's qualified. The same thing, you see it. You see the similarity. So you drop that thing, there's going to be nothing. The Bill of Information is there. If the Supreme Court comes up with something otherwise, fine. But I don't think they're going to come with anything extra. Unity Party Elections Commission Chairman, Jonathan Wieder, Joseph Yima Bwaga Commission Chairman, Jonathan Wieder will face the Senate tomorrow. He's going to be confirmed tomorrow. Nobody should expect anything critical. No. Jonathan Widow is Unity Party supporter. Jonathan Widow was called personally by Joseph Yima Boakai. Joseph Yima Boakai knows who Jonathan Widow is, their friendship, their partisanship, and a lot more. Boakai wants to retain the presidency. Boakai will not go outside to take anybody neutral. Nobody should ever live with the illusion that Jonathan Widow is a neutral person. Jonathan Widow is not a neutral person. He is a partisan. Nobody should ever expect anything of critical questioning tomorrow. Certainly not. Expect a walk in the park confirmation hearing for Jonathan Widow, because that's the man Joseph Yema Boakai wants. That's the man Joseph Yema Boakai submit. Unity Party supporters are there. Unity Party senators are there. They're not going to betray. They're not going to be anything critical, because their master, their patron, their sponsor wants it, and they will have to satisfy their patron, their master, their God. Nobody should expect anything other than easy confirmation. All right. That will be doing it for that. So I don't know where I placed the photo. I wanted to show you people. I know which one, where that is, but you people have seen that. You people have seen that. Let me try. I think I can. There'll be no time to get it on the screen, but I will try. This is the last pointer, and then we are out of this place. Well, they say pretense is just like pregnancy. It states, and no matter what, in the fullness of time, it comes out. We told you people, believe it or not, Thomas Fowler is not with Unity Party with the whole heart. This week, I told you people of the occasion he had, the lapa he printed, and he took an awful, messy photo of Joseph Yema Boakai. Your amen. Please hold on. Let me call my IT man, Newton Tokpa. Let Newton get this on the screen. 1 minute, please.
Tokpa said, we are trying to some money, but money was into we are coming. Don't about them. Money was into we are coming, yeah. Money was into we are coming, oh. Money was into we are coming, oh. Money was into we are coming, oh. It was another day, oh. Even your own people, they know no money, oh. Hey. Money, oh. Just back every money. Free money, oh. Free money in the country, oh. We want road, we want preachers, oh. We want overhead preacher, but we want food in our stomach, oh. We cannot be looking at the brain, no study in our stomach, oh. No money, oh. Hey, do we have that money, why, oh? 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 Hey, money, why, in the country, oh? Do we have that money, why, oh? Joseph Boakai, what's wrong with you? Joseph Boakai, what's wrong with you? Joseph Yema Boakai, oh? Do we have that money, why, oh? When you pay a canyon, Joseph Boakai, when you pay a canyon, oh, Kumi Canyon, yo, hey, Joseph Boakai, oh, Yiswa, Jawi Ajio, yo, Jawi, oh, hey, Joseph Boakai, we call the economy a labra, oh, hey, Joseph Boakai, the country to our. The country, oh, my people. Hey, nobody the country, oh. No money, oh. We dying, oh. No money in the country, oh. Just about up in the economy, oh. Up in the economy, oh. No money in the country, oh. No money in the country, oh. Just about oh. Hey, my people, we dying, oh. The business people, we dying, oh. Business people, we dying, oh. Everywhere you get your good start to pay, we say no money, oh. So, we told you this week, that Thomas Fowler showed or brought out a messy photo. Usually, you don't use any photo for a president, any VIP for that matter. You don't. You normally, as it is required, people will look for the best photo because you're going out, you're showcasing that photo. The photo represents the person's image. You are presenting the person's image. Hence, it is also your organization you are portraying to the people by that person's image. So you want the onlookers or the people to give you that respect or see that organization. And moreover, show that truly you love that person. So you see, they will look for a very unique photo, clean photo, sharp photo, and put it on. You don't use just any photo for a VIP. So you get people, sometimes if they want something, they'll say, oh, Sam Andrews, can you give us a photo of yours, something very decent? They will tell you. The reason, because their reputation is at stake too. So they will ask you. They will ask you for the best. Look at the photo. This week, I told you people that it was a messy, awful photo that is meant to. Look at it, man. Look at it. Boaga, no disrespect. Boaga, yeah, we disagree with Boaga, but Boaga gets some fun photos. Yeah? The executive mansion has fun photos, great photos, unique, appealing photos. If he is, instead of sitting down carefully to do a selection, look at the kind of photo. Look at this thing here. Look at this in the mempo. Look at Boaga. Look at the photo here. Look at the printing. When we tell you Thomas Fowler really does not have Unity Party at heart, Thomas Fowler is a schemer, a real schemer. A schemer in politics is that person just like a mercenary who makes his way through to protect certain things, to maintain his image, and a lot more. So he does it surgically. That's how Thomas Fowler is operating. Thomas Fowler knows that the claims against the we are government of XYZ, he knows that they are part of it. He knows that he acquired millions of dollars, which the people of this country, or if the government is pursuing everybody and not being selective, he will be there. So he runs ahead and say he's supporting the president. The president is from Lofa County. The president is Kisi. He's Kisi. He goes to the gallery and spoke Kisi. Boaga fell for it too, because he too, you can see that tribal instinct in him. Once you say you're from Lofa County, Boaga is just, sorry to say, but Boaga is tribal. Look at his government. Yesterday, they say, oh, CDC government was Southeast government, and we are just appointing his Southeastern people. Yeah, they are today. The entire government is Lofa County. The entire government, the same thing
Samuel Doe was doing here. He had all his people everywhere, crime people. The same thing Joe Boakai is doing. Everywhere, the Lofa County people, everywhere. The only person in the government that ain't Lofa, in Lofa, the vice president and his people and U.S. president, Dr. Lydia Mampaya, because she's a white woman. But beyond that, in key positions, key sectors, the wheel, the political wheel of the country, where you see, what do you see there? So Kisi people, Lofa County. The three pillars of the country's survival: Finance Ministry, Lofa County; Central Bank of Liberia, Lofa County; Liberia Revenue Authority, Lofa County. Let's go to the other areas. Check all those ministries everywhere. That Lofa County. Yesterday, they said, "Oh, this wrong." They used to what the doctrine they had in for we are government. What's the word? Nepotism. They say nepotism. Then they say ethnicity. They say, "Oh, the government is there. Joe, we are bringing the Southeastern people, the Crew people. Look at the other person. Look at the other person." Yeah, it's Joseph Yeman Boakai. 85% of Joseph Yeman Boakai government composition from Lofa County, where you see most of the developments headed to Lofa County. Look at this thing. You see it? That's the first one. Now, based on this, didn't we say that T5 is not truly with Unity Party? That T5 is an honor cover. He's using Unity Party to cover what he acquired, what he has, given the substantial nature of it, that it will not be exposed, it won't be questioned. The logic is, let's run. Let's run to Boakai and praise Boakai and say Boakai doing well. Politicians, that's how they operate. Now, his own man, another Lofa County minister, Francis Yemalin, for God in heaven's sake, you said Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai, I don't know uncle or who or what, you're from the same county. So Joseph Boakai is the president now. And you join a party? And you join a party? And you join a party? You will not do anything extra. You will put everything into that man. Joe Boakai is the political leader of Unity Party. So you said Joe Boakai doing well. You said Joe Boakai the best president. That's the reason you join him. So won't you join Joe Boakai party? Because you don't get party again. So nobody would say because the man is still with this party, so he can. You don't get party. So the only option available is to join Unity Party because you don't get party. Yeah, is it. That thing he building over there, he say in the name of Joseph Boakai, that the man future party. I told you why the man went against Fonanti Kofa. And he made a statement. He was not referring to former President George Weah. He still respects President Weah. He knows what President Weah did for him. He knows where President Weah took him from. He knows when he had a number of difficulties. He knows how President Weah made an intervention when he was in the CDC government. He has some difficult times. He knows. When you see the guy doing all these things, all that they say, you heard George Weah talking? George Weah reacting? No. Weah knows the story. He knows exactly. A person who knows what he did for a person, for people, when they are talking, they don't talk. The person only say to themselves, let them live with the conscience, time will tell. that the time telling for George we are so. The man is an honor cover. The man part, that thing that man building, he building in disguise politically, meaning that his own headquarters he building. He said, national movement for Bwaga de Bwaga da. So if your goal is to have Bwaga re-elected, do you need extra institution? Do you need to waste money on that? Wouldn't it make sense to take the money that you have to direct it to pre-campaign as you people are doing and campaign in 2029, since you want Bwaga to be re-elected to do more as you claim that he's doing? The reason the man said that headquarters would be a law firm, he was not referencing George Weah. He cannot be disrespectful to former President Weah. He knows he can express as he expressed himself, but he consciously knows he can be disrespectful to Weah. It was not former President Weah he was referring to. It was Fonati Kofa. I told you people the rift that came between he and Fonati Kofa because he overheard that President Weah would turn the party over. I don't know what he know when that will be or if that will ever happen. But that's what came out, and he felt offended. He felt that, oh, President Weah, we came together from the trenches. We've been with you ever so long. Then I'm hearing that you want to give the party, when you're leaving, to give the party to Fonati Kofa. The man start walking. Again, for that other thing you saw with your majority blood, minority blood, he said you're going to reconcile, you're going to there. That Fonati Kofa, he was fighting. So he walked on the ground. He was supportive of everything the guys were doing to get Fonati Kofa out of that speakership. You see how God exposed him? They thought that the headquarters, they thought that Weah was making a mere statement. All of them doubted. All of them, they doubted. When they saw the party headquarters going up, who confessed first? But he did not confess honestly. He confessed provocatively. When he said the party headquarters, CDC party headquarters will become a law firm. I told you this man, the man wants to be president of Liberia. The man is power obsessed. The man is power greed. The man is just everything power. The man is constructing his headquarters to go side by side with Unity Party. And Unity Party people think that Thomas Fowler is on their side. Thomas Fowler is still loyal to George Weah. But Weah is not the kind of person. Hey man, who over here when he was talking about the station, about the people that came and AB, how AB went, AB said you are leaving. He said no problem. That everybody came and said, he said his policy, when you say you're leaving, I respect it. He said, I don't tell anybody to stay because that's your decision. You know, when you go, when you find it necessary to come back, I receive you. That's what he said. And that's true. And that's how all these people that said they were going, we are saying no problem. Yeah, they are today. That man is not comfortable in Unity Party. Don't mind those things, those sugar-coated things that he put in Do you need a headquarters, extra headquarters for Joseph Yuma Bwaga? No. So Unity Party people have started suspecting. The conversation been going around. He know that Unity Party people, they've been having their nuclear discussion. He know. He just feel that they're open to him. He know they're treating him with skepticism. So one of them came up bravely, and the Lofa County local government minister, look how he described Thomas Fowler. That was not. It was too demeaning. He exposes what he is saying is, I will quote him word for word, but yeah, what he's exposing the hypocrisy of T5. the hypocrisy of T5. That's why he exposed by his statement. Listen, let me quote him word for word. Hear what he said today. My traditional brother, meaning we're from Lofa County. My traditional brother, Thomas Fowler, the Deputy Speaker's decision to establish NIMBO is a decision. I, as a politician, have to use my macroscopic eyes to view. I, as a politician, have to use my macroscopic eyes to view, meaning I'm not too satisfied with you, or I'm not satisfied with you. You around us, you claim that you love Bwaka, you supporting Bwaka doing well, yes, but I think you are an honor cover. That's what that statement means. I, as a politician, sensitive as I am watching you with my macroscopic eyes. So let me quote it again. My traditional big brother, I don't know who is older than who, but it's not about age. My traditional big brother, Thomas Fowler, the Deputy Speaker's decision to establish NIMBO is a decision. I, as a politician, have to use my macroscopic eyes to view. I am not going to be part of any, please listen carefully, listen to this debasing and demeaning words and remarks and description from Francis Yemale, reducing Thomas Fowler that he is a hypocrite. Listen, referring to him, he said, I am not going to be a part of any political dog cat. What do I mean? In the political world, when you want to be a dog, be a dog. When you want to be a cat, be a cat. Meaning, you can be like a chameleon. You have many colors. What is your true identity? Oh yeah? Now you're coming to your senses small. And you want people. I say, Bwaka doing well. Everybody that calls George Weah, everybody that say anything about George Weah, and you can be happy. Why? You saying that? You know why? This thing was discussed. And Francis Yemale say, I will seek an audience or I will go public. Let us not hide our feeling from this man. It was not Francis Yemale own thing. It was discussed within the inner cycle of Unity Party. They're not pleased. They are not pleased. They're not satisfied with Thomas Fowler. They see signs of hypocrisy. They are treating him with skepticism. Francis Yemale description, if you want to be dog, be dog. If you want to be cat. Meaning, we're sensing hypocrisy. What is your identity? Are you with us or you against us? At one point in time, Joseph Bwaka doing well. We're building a building headquarters for him. He will come and launch it. At one point in time, you don't want to state your true identity. And Francis Yemale is right. He's right. He's 5,000% right. Because they're sensing hypocrisy. They're sensing undercover. That they can't trust this man in this deputy speaker's skin. They can't trust him. Chief, George Weah is not God. But everybody that leaves George Weah, the only way you have peace, the only way people will not sense the hypocrisy is except George Weah say a word or two back to you. Everyone that left George Weah and said all manner of things against George Weah, it's just a matter of time before their hypocrisy, their pretense, their diabolical intent is shown by God. That's why he said, vengeance is mine. I do everything, leave it. That's why when they're leaving, you hear George, we are saying anything, you hear George, we are calling, talking, oh, what a no. This is so demeaning, so damaging for the deputy speaker. And I know he will respond to Francis Yemali, but his response will do nothing because it was discussed. People, I'm telling you the thing, it was discussed, except we don't have friends in Unity Party. It was discussed. It was Francis Yemali that took the decision and said, I will go public with it. According to my intel, one of the voices told him, my man, just leave it as it is. Since he said he's part of us, he has the right to build a structure as people have done around here. That's his way of expressing his support and love for the president. Francis Yemali said he will have to make a decision. Either he's with us or he make his position known that he's in transit, he passing through. Francis Yemali did not go public all by himself. Unity Party people, they know. According to my intel, the people been discussing, they're not satisfied. Francis T5 is not the only person. My intel tells me that T5 is not the only person. They are between 4 and 5. That Unity Party people not satisfied. And given that 2029 is close, and they're not too sure of President Bouaka contesting, there is an ongoing discussion of the what if. There is the what if discussion going on. The what if discussion in politics and national life means, what if this man is unable? What if he's not contesting? Who do we have as a possible replacement? What if? Unity Party, they're having that discussion. And that is why one of the reasons for that, they are putting aside substantial millions of dollars. So 2029, going into 2029, there will be more explosive financially, there will be cash violence, there will be intimidation, there will be harassment, they'll do everything. We're telling you, we don't sit here and just talk. Joe Bouaka just we're getting information from George Weah's office. I can tell you with every stupor, we are getting information from Joe Yema Bouaka office. The information coming out with what we tell you is the truth. We're getting it. It's easy. Not hard. The point satisfied. The point not too sure. They have before them the what if. What if Bouaka is not contesting? And then they have names there. They have people within the party. They have people. They have started to groom certain names indirectly. You look at Unity Party people, some of you are who? You say you're partisans. You're in smart. The people know that you're mumu. They both know that you people don't have that retentive. You people don't have, sorry to say that, but you people, not the word, but you people don't have that IQ. They're both grooming indirectly. They're not too sure. They're not too sure. Listen, did you listen to President Bouaka? The people are not too sure. When President Bouaka, all of the medications he's receiving, they still not too sure of Bouaka's health. Now, please, I want you to go back, if you have the time, Well, that is our responsibility. We take off time to watch over and over. We watch the first time, we watch the second, we watch the third, we look at all of the features. Please go back to that interview with France 24. Listen carefully. On 3 different occasions of that interview, it was like the president was running out of breath. It is available still. I beg you people, you go back to it. You watch it carefully. At a certain point in time, like the president voice was going. Unity Party people know that this man is still not in a good bill of health. As a matter of truth, every day, human being age. Every day, human being age. At certain point in time, when you are being medicated, given your physique, the medication cannot be effective along the way the more you are medicated or you take in or the more they inject. Because the system internally is depreciating. So what the person would be surviving on is the much, or to say it this way, many medications are put in the system. And that is why at a certain point in time, you see, even start to affect the person. Now look at Mr. President. I'm saying this to tell you people what is unfolding within Unity Party. I'm not saying anything, no psychology important yet. I'm telling you what my intel. We get people in Unity Party. They tell you that everybody's satisfied with Bwaka. Who told you that everybody in Unity Party is satisfied with Bwaka? Who told you that nonsense that other men bro and say nobody will get information? It's just for public, for civil servant people, which it can't even work in this setting. People still giving information out. People still giving information. The man said, hey, you want to be dog? Be dog. What is your true identity? The same question Jesus asked, are you for us or you are against us? If you are for us, then join us. If you are against, let us know. Then we know how to treat you as deputy speaker. We'll treat you as opposition. Thomas Fowler is in what the Englishmen call a dilemma. He's between 2 opinions. A difficult situation. He's between the rock and the hard place. Most of the Unity Party ministers, when I say ministers, I mean ministers in top positions. They are satisfied. I cannot tell you how they congratulated by a telephone call Francis Yumalin on what he did today. They're still not satisfied with this man. And truly, they ought not to be satisfied. But it's up to the Takisi level, the lower candidate. They may say, well, you want to be dog. You want me cat, be cat. You can be dog, cat. You can be cat, dog. You either for us or you against us. My traditional brother, one more time, then we go to the comments and the line. My traditional brother, Lofa County brother, Kisi brother, my traditional brother, Thomas Fowler, the deputy speaker's decision to establish NIMBO is a decision I, as a politician, have to use my macroscopic eyes to view. I am not going to be part of any political dog cat I am not going to be part of any political dog cat. That he's describing Thomas Fowler. He's describing the personality of Thomas Fowler. That Thomas Fowler has two distinct or two different personalities. Dog personality, cat personality. Amen. No disrespect to the local government minister. We disagree with the deputy speaker on issues. Not all. We respect him as the deputy speaker of the Republic of Liberia. But this description from Francis Yimali is too bad. It's too bad. You cannot reduce by personality description the deputy speaker this way. It's just the same that Boakai said, referred to Liberians as dogs, meaning they show dog characteristics. This is the meaning of the deputy speaker coming from Unity Party diehard supporter, Joseph Yeman Boakai relative, a stalwart of Unity Party. Listen again, people. I am not going to be part of any political dog cat. Meaning, this man is acting like a dog. We can identify with him. He's acting like a cat. We have to be suspicious of him. What do I mean? In the political world, when you want to be a dog, be a dog. When you want to be a cat, be a cat. But you cannot be dog cat or cat dog. Have one personality. So he simply meant there is a double standard. They sense, they observe, they know, and they concluded that the deputy speaker has dual personality. The deputy speaker has or is showing signs of double standard, that he is an undercover. That's it. Yes, see you. Those are the pointers. Thank you ever so much for being with us for today. Let's take a few calls or read the comments first, and then we get to the line and we are out for today. Emmanuel Bro writes, in my honest perception, local government minister Francis Yimali would do everything possible to retake Foya district legislative seat back from Thomas Fowler because he is still seriously eyeing the seat. Right. Sound political reading. Right. Nathaniel Kete, Thomas Fowler is portraying himself as a bat, not an animal, neither a bird. Oh, Rita Christine Hits, you are on. Matilda Stevens said the country hard like rock. Really hard. And I easy. It's how you go to the Kobo shop, you call for a 200 Kobo or 250 when you see it say Cali Communion say it much. Tano Samson said, ungrateful Liberian people, a good for your old man Boakai is suffering you because of your ungratefulness. Paris Lobot said, Boakai government is just a wicked regime. In New York, people are selling on the sidewalk. People are between cars selling bottles of mineral water. Yeah, they say nobody, they turning the country into heaven. even in heaven. Would I do this to the people? Rescue. All right. So let's go now. On the bite or the voice that I play, Emmanuel Broad said, "My Liberian compatriots, you look and listen to a kissy woman says she's speaking crude." Emmanuel Broad. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the line. Let's go. Let's go to the line. Let's take few calls, and that will be doing it for today. Let's just take few calls. 0772 23 99 33. The women's line. Let's go with few calls, and that will be doing it for today. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
I'm Sam Zahn, calling from Rehab. I want to know the differences between Liberia and Guinea at the border. What's going on there?
You haven't talked about Liberia Guinea border?
We want to find out. One of the more things that we want to know.
Hello.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Mr. Andrew, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call you for down because to Wentang community and a member of Concern Liberia for Justice. Mr. Andrew, look, there is a thing that says which a monkey will never forget about his black hair. You can remember in 2023, it was this freaking human being that put 25 motorbike carrying 33 persons and was in search of Adabu. There's a patient that beat a citizen who was loyal to Thomas Fala in a place to death because it was to CDC. You think a man will forgive Thomas Fala? In my mind, the man is speaking the mind of the Unity Partisans to Thomas Fala. They are telling you, Thomas Fala, what you are doing, we are seeing you. But still, we are still suspicious of you. That's why the guy is extremely telling Thomas Fala. And that's why they will look at Thomas Fala. All the Unity Partisans, they will look at Thomas Fala to be suspicious because for where is Thomas Fala came from? On a plain field, that person we are talking to where he is today. People, the guys will never be satisfied with Thomas Fala. Thomas Fala, the guys are speaking their mind to be a fan of the order of March. Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sam Andrew. Hello?
You are on the air. See, good afternoon.
Mr. David Castle, I call from Honor the Street Light in Lower Johnsonville, an outstanding member of the Concerned Liberian for Justice. No, Mr. Sam Andrew, and the result and those things that were experienced come 2029, they have just started. You know, Thomas Fala was the one that insisted and a friendly humanity. So that gross is still there. That's why the guy from the Unity Party used him to come and discriminate that particular. It's a clear message to Thomas Fala. If he's smart, this is the time for him to be recalibrating. If he cannot recalibrate Canton tonight, you will be the most frustrated and a politician that ever existed on the political landscape of Liberia. It's not us. We are very much happy because God does not sleep. When you are ungrateful, those are the results. And I can clearly tell Thomas Fala, Canton, the Unity Party is going to, and he's going to be dislodged from District 5 in Lofa County. First, humanity will be re-elected. So that's the frustration that coming on our better way. And up to now, he has not come to his senses. He said Gary venting around and acting as a political giant. and will be very much disgraceful and shameful on the part. You know, the guys are very much smart. That's why the young friends say you marry. The guy
Okay, sir.
will retain, that particular district cantonment, and I'll be happy for that. Thank you very much.
The Supreme Court of Liberia, Supreme Court Justice Yusuf Kaba has denied the bill of information filed by Representative Yeke Kolbad. Kolbad's legal team has accepted the ruling, and they've said they will file an appeal before the full branch of the Supreme Court. Hello.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon. And good afternoon to those who are following the show. This is Hussein. I call for court with this afternoon. Yes, Sam, fascinating discussion, different talking points. So what I know, in fact, Sam, just a breaking news, the Supreme Court have come up, the justice in chambers have come out and denied the bill of information that was filed.
You don't hear me saying anything, you were excited because you're happy? You don't hear me saying anything just now?
No, but Sam, the man have taken a appeal before the full bench. Who knows whether it can be reversed? Sam, you see, that's what I said. Nothing about emotional in law. Law is common reasoning. Any man go before the full bench, they have not been finalized. But just that the justice in chambers have denied the bill of information. So he take appeal before the full bench. That's the legal process. So Sam, in relation to Representative Father, Deputy Speaker, if we continue to buy into the regular politics in our country, and we the young people, we are damaging our very selves. I listen to all those people, seditions, MRCC, and the rest of them, criticizing and critiquing and beating on Thomas Farah because of his stand of recent. That's been very dishonest. This man financed every activity of the CDC. He was a personal friend to former President Weah.
Okay, Chief, thank you. Because I think you're making sense. Speak to the issue, then you're going back to CDC days. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, my brother. The official spokesperson for the Liberian Civil Rights Movement, William Deliveroo, and I joined from Carwell. Saying we are in big trouble, serious trouble in Liberia because what you were saying, your talking point, and the city police yesterday they were said that we are police. So today, how we different? And that's how we must say that the development police training is lying. I got the city police for one person, but you see the weekend all around, my brother. Even not only the police, you see it. I got the police people, even the immigration, all by just being weekend to the city of Liberia, and this is wrong for our country. And the very thing you talk about why come back. Because the court don't with it, then you tell me that the jury, all the one and stuff. So that my first time hearing I was saying, though we're not lawyers, but sometimes we hear some cases, and now we go in the court, we sit down, and all the one we see it. You see, but what people are doing the same, they are saying everything is wrong. I think yesterday the people said this was the best dream. Educated people, now what we see now, we see messages, and I was just thing just went outside down. I want to see my brother. But we don't know. Thank you ever so much.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Tuesday. Coming from Nigeria County. I was in rehab somewhere around Cape recently to show that the country is very, very hard. Unity Party. Yeah, this is a partisan for begging one Judicial who has a sick dog just to buy the door and eat it. It was not easy. They begged that boy for that door until they went and called one of the fellow partisans and both of them came. After they took the door away, it was not an easy task to know who would carry the door. So really, if who is the one can we say, that's what I want to say.
Have a nice day. Hello. Yes, I'm doing good.
Okay. Thanks for the acknowledgement. This is Edmond Carr, and member of the Concerned Liberian for Justice. I am completely disappointed with the last news that you just brought, not specifically because of Yeke, but I am looking at the disrespectful nature of the House of Representatives towards the Supreme Court. and they want to accept and allow them to continually do that to that other local, where we found ourselves in Liberia now. If anybody in the opposition are never getting the understanding or knowing very well that everything automatically along Boaka is in power going to go against us, it is time that we need to do the needful. It's quite frustrating. You killing me? But that's it. If our then there is no need I'm going to waste money. It's only 3,000 plus to take appeal to the 4 bank. Why should I waste that money? It's going to be the same story. Okay? By the way, in life with them, do what they want to do, but that's it. So that means nowhere you can go. Everywhere I've been locked up by Jota and Yamabara. When you talk about it, these unity parties, surrogates come out, they want to call people names. But we're not afraid. Okay? So, look, Kamofala is in a difficult situation. We said it, like they are a movement, they've been on very registration this morning. We have been asking, we have been saying the same thing to them. And the day they end, that which we've been telling them, they have manifested. Look, Nimale want to go back in that district, 2029. He want to go back to get his seat. Kamofala want to run back in that district to get his seat. So 2 of them are fighting over that. If he will let me, he will play his cool. Whether you join them, you play a support, when you join them officially, the moment you keep your cool, you do little thing for them, they're going to be okay. But the way you're doing it now, like he want to show himself, we told them that the Unity Party people are going to be very, very uncomfortable with Fala. Even the statement that he made, although it was not a bad statement, it's supported on their God. Running them to start involving themselves with the people to take that as a serious offense. So Fala now is in the middle of the water. The only alternative that he has is to join the Unity Party. Because I dare him to leave, not even to go back to CDC. For any other political party or to stay neutral, he's going to be arrested, he's going to be persecuted, that key file will resurface. So the only thing that you have to do to join the Unity Party. So we wish you well. It's our soul. We are here. But it's not easy for you right now. So thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Carr, have a nice midweek. At 0886 304497 0772 23 99 33. Hello. Hello. Yes. Hello. Yes, you are on the air. Yeah. I know that off. I'm trying to get it on. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I know.
Thank you for the show, my brother. You said it all. For me, that's surprising to me. No, you can get a mother, but you can get a stepmother. You can get a second mother. Then, P40, he reached heaven when he entered people, the party and psycho. He think he has reached heaven. But thank God, when they push you here, way nice. All right for him. Okay, people that made you. Because of CDC, because of TIFA, people die in local country. I'm lying. I'm not lying. Because of TIFA and the CDC. I know Sarah Momo or what thing. I mean that. Nasty death in local country. But today, after they lose the election, he jumped from there. And started saying a lot of things about George Weah, about the CDC. And he think he has reached heaven. So, I saw Boyo, man, what would okay Farabu in local country. You hear the message on okay, SN this morning. I followed I'm able to enter that, to ask him. Before you kill you already wanted to go to tell them, sorry. The man said we not be done, you won't be care, FIFA. You don't hear me there? They did not reach here, they pushing away. When they know you are spy, the person you are a spy, you get to the spy on the top by the CDC that they hold in for you. So if you know what I know, you better put yourself in the door form. When they say you won't be door. Don't be care and behind your poo. Don't do that. Don't start it and keep it. Or put it over, don't see it, take them off. They will be cat, they will be dog, be dog. These are the pretending ugly. And in their child, when they discussing you, if you know what, know you better fast it. Being a parent member or you come by the city. What I said to my battle to a people. You can put up a lane, they will say that.
Man, see, where G's partner before you go to Yaka Koluba, you want a man to come out?
Eh?
You want Thomas Fala to come out?
Oh, Tifa?
Yeah, but you just said, or he better come out to CDC.
My brother, nothing more than who. Your who and your who. And then you come back because it's not too late for you. You can do wrong and you get your parents to accept you. That's what I'm saying. So you not decide for anyone, you never hear about that bad I give you. Whenever you go, John, there's a waste that they will never forget you. So now you went against that man in that place and win for power. You will always be behind your footsteps, behind your heel. So now whenever I get in, my brother, this one, what can I say?
All right, man. See. So what about Yaka?
So Yaka for me, I'm saying to go yesterday. One problem is a man in a horse, and they want they call people that man power is denying. Let you go say that. So you already ask, what you go to people and we say, they go say for they go say not yet. Therefore, so not the go and say against with these people. And anything the broker wants, you will get it. The man said it. He had it for us. The man said anything so now, so that reduce it, so that one. Anything for that one work. So what just that they will not get it. So now there. So reduce people, anything the man won't work. I know that what it is. Is it about what he might be? Okay, maybe for here, so and I had it, so we're not going to go there. He fought again, but it was at the bottom. I'm waiting for that one. I know, but it was at the bottom. But thank you, that woman that was against Trinity. So they affect you.
All right, G's partner.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, G's partner. Have a nice day. Hello? Yeah, hello. Yeah, doing fine.
Yeah, I'm Marie Baba calling from Mambate.
Let's hear you, Marie Baba.
Yeah, St. Andrew, you might learn now. Because you might learn and how they call it, Thomas Fala. 4 years for that district one. And Thomas Fala, you might learn to him. So for him, you might learn to be there with Thomas Fala behind. If you know what I know, you better come back.
All right.
People that you can just trust. They will not even trust you because they're talking from plenty. You see, you never able to be so tell them from plenty to be who you are. You are
okay. All right.
Yeah, for this time, then you get like say you want support people will not prepare you. Yeah, then I come back home. But not so you'll be this way. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day. Oh, women line, you went over again. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Andrew, before 2029, they don't see in a country with people. They just starting. We'll see. They just starting. They just starting. Oh, come on, Pala. Be mindful. The drama.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, patience. Let's go on this side. Then we'll move to Arthur Johnson to bring you the live press conference. Hello.
Hello, Sam. I'm Chief Charles Ambrose calling from Canada.
Let's hear you.
See, Thomas Fala has missed the boat. Thomas Fala missed the boat completely. He's one of those that make today Liberia has 14 countries and a half. Liberia has 14 countries and a half. They have to Guinea. He doesn't have a sense of political direction. Let him say that the United Party will use it. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you too. Have a nice midweek. So let's cross over and bring you excerpt the lead counsel of the former finance minister. Arthur Johnson is giving a news conference into the hearing today and other info. So you want to have a listen.
This is what they went further with. This is what we said. To which verdict the juror went. So the court said the exception is hereby noted. Then we made a submission. When we made a submission, this is what we read. The defense respectfully accept in part to the guilty verdict against Councillor Nyati Tuan for the charges of theft of property, criminal facilitation, criminal conspiracy. Council also accepts in part to the guilty verdict against Jefferson Kamo on the charges of what? Criminal conspiracy and criminal facilitation. Council respectfully praise court and your honors. Now that the verdicts have been retained, he hereby requests the court to disband the jurors, with thanks of court for their constitutional duties performed in line with their constitutional ranks as provided for by law. Then the prosecution went further. You see, Madam Forelady and member, this is the prosecution scene, and I read it and I quote. Madam Forelady and members of the jury, notwithstanding the prosecution's disagreement, the prosecution thank you kindly for rendering service in line with your duties. We say go in peace and know that nobody can hold you accountable for the verdicts that you have rendered here and submit. And so the court further informed the parties that they shall enter a final judgment on the guilty verdict returned by the trial jury in keeping with. Accordingly, members of the jury who have fully executed their constitutional duties also thank for staying with us in the next day. They are hereby disbanded. That's the decision of the court. They are hereby disbanded with thanks of court and so on. There is a strategic legal reason why I am reading these particular provisions of the means. Once, in our belief, once the judge or the court has disbanded the jury, the court has no jurisdiction again over the jurors. That's one. Two, assuming without admitting that at the time the jury was returned and the jury verdict was returned and there was a reading of the verdict and no one had asked for them to be disbanded. They had not yet been disbanded. The court had not taken the decision. If there was a complaint by any of the jurors or any of the lawyers from the both sides to say we have issues with the verdict and that there is an allegation of jury misconduct or jury tampering, the judge will never disband the jury. The law said the judge will not disband the jury since they are still under his jurisdiction. Since they are still under his jurisdiction, what the judge will do, he will put hold to the reading, let's say the recording of the verdict, and authorize an immediate investigation into the allegation of jury tampering because the jurors are still under his jurisdiction. But that is not the case in the Samuel 12 issue. That is a legal issue we're talking about. This is a constitutional issue. In this case, no one complained. After the juror have read the verdict, they have read the verdict. After the verdict was recorded, the parties agreed. They asked the juror, if this is your verdict, they agreed that this is our verdict. No juror at that time raised any issue. And so when the court disbanded the jury, that court, by law, has no authority. Because when you disband the jury, it means there are no more jurors. They have retired into their private lives. So you have no jurisdiction over them to court them, especially so these are jurors that were serving for the what? The February term of court. Now we're talking about the May term of court. You have no jurisdiction because the summary of jurors is by law, is by term of court. No judge can just easily do that. Only the law authorizes that. And so what happened is that because we accepted to a portion of the verdict regarding the conviction of Councillor Nyati Tuan and Honorable Jefferson Kamo, we filed a motion for new trial for these two defendants and former officials of government. After 2 weeks, which the law says within 4 days, after 2 weeks, the day prior to the hearing of the motion for new trial, we received a citation, which was May 18, from the court telling us that, and this is what I read, by directive of His Honor Usman and Feka, a San Sake Judge presiding, First Judicial Sake Criminal Kosi, Montserrat County, Republic of Liberia, sitting its midterm. And this is important. Sitting its midterm. This is midterm. That case was the February term. AD 2026. You are hereby, anything to do before that time, there must be an extension from the Chief Justice. Can't just do it. You are hereby ordered to appear on Wednesday, May 20, 2026 at 9:00 a.m. for an investigation into alleged jury misconduct, stroke tampering, filed on an oath of affidavits by 3 individuals who serve as jurors. So you see that technically the court is recognizing that they are not jurors again in the above entitled course of action. Meanwhile, the assignment for the hearing of the motion for new trial is hereby suspended pending the outcome of the investigation. It was not signed by them. So we received this, and when we went for this hearing, where it was for today, these are things that unfolded. We are saying this because these are the points for which we taking issue with. In the first meeting with the judge told us that the prosecution, the defense lawyers, the prosecution lawyers, the defendants, the court officers, the jurors, and other members of the jury management team are all subject of the investigation. Meaning the investigation, every one of them should be subjected to the investigation. But interestingly, the judge told us that no lawyer will be present. The investigation will be done in secret. None of us will be there, even though we are subject of the investigation, meaning we all are accused, including the prosecution defense, and he will proceed, he will conduct the investigation in camera, meaning in closed door. Nobody will be there. When you are needed, then they will send for you. In our view, these are the issues we have. One, jurisdiction. We want to tell the Liberian people and the world that the judge has no jurisdiction to conduct the investigation. One, because the term had ended. Two, he had disbanded the jury. The jurors are citizens now. And three, you cannot conduct an investigation that you say, I and my client, all of our colleagues, everybody are subjects of the investigation, but they cannot be in the investigation. To know what is the complaint, to read the content of the complaint, and you say you just proceed, you can't give it to us. So today what we did, we wrote and told him that he must refuse jurisdiction because he is proceeding in violation of the Constitution, especially due process under Article 20A of the Constitution of Liberia. So the judge did not do anything on that, and he had decided to continue. He been in closed doors since today. No lawyer there. Anybody, wherever is being said, whether somebody is being accused, that person has no authority and no right to face their accuser or so on. Assuming now we've had the meeting, and so it was one thing. I think maybe 3 or 4 before he got through with the juror, and it will be continuing. That's one. Two, the law in this jurisdiction and have been practiced and that would copy from other countries is that when the jury have been disbanded and they have been sent into their private life as citizens, you have no authority to just summon them to question them about what happened when you are disbanded, especially when there was no complaint at the time they were not disbanded. If the time they were not disbanded and that complaint was there, then the judge has jurisdiction. But if prior to the disbandment there was no complaint, you disbanded them, and after 1 week or 2 weeks, and before 3 of the jurors that voted against our client come out and say there was conduct, jury misconduct, and then you send for them and send for all of the parties, you have no jurisdiction. That's the law. This is not precedent. First, so for this reason, we have gone to the Honorable the Supreme Court on the petition of writ of prohibition to prohibit the conduct of the judge. That does not mean we are discrediting the judge. No. First, we want to appreciate him, the manner and form he conducted the trial. This was a seriously, legally charged and intellectually engaging trial that he was able to manage it by the techniques and tactics of courtroom management to the extent that the case ended. To see the judge now, that we know with all of the caliber of lawyers that were before him, including a former Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, including a former judge of the ECOWAS Court, who was a lawyer before him, to conduct that trial in the manner and form for us to reach to the conclusion of that case, again, has up. But this post-disbandment of the jury investigation is ultra-virus, is illegal, is in violation of the law. And we don't want to believe that it is the judge that we know in the case. So that is what we have done today. There is a petition that has been found today, and there is a stay order on that investigation, and we'll go to the Supreme Court to give our case. We have the laws in our favor. The laws are there. We just want to inform you. We're not fighting to influence any decision, but to inform you as to the developments that are unfolded there today and are unfolded. The next thing is this. These three jurors were asked in court, is this your verdict? The judge on every occasion in the trial told them, when you have any issue with anything that happened there, in the open court, tell me so we can address it. They said we have no issue. And we understand why all of these things are happening. Most of the
lead counsel for former Finance and Development Planning Minister Samuel Twain, Councillor Arthur Johnson, giving a news conference explaining everything about today's quote-unquote investigation into jury tampering as claimed by three jurors.
Because it is an attempt. It is an attempt to influence people over there to lie on people and for people to run with it as a propaganda machinery. The law is the law. The old age tradition of our country have said from almost 200 years on the existence of this country, from 1816 to present, in our jurisprudence, they said once the jurors have dispersed and resumed private status, recall becomes constitutionally dangerous and legally improper. In which case is that Des versus Belden, 5792S40 in 2016, U.S. Supreme Court opinion. There are other opinions. There is an opinion in Liberia here where the Liberian Supreme Court said when the juror has returned a verdict of acquittal and there is a complaint of jury tampering, the judge should not disband the jury. Let us understand the gap there. When they return the verdict, they acquitted the man, but they are not yet disbanded. They stay under the jurisdiction of the court because everybody in open court. And a party makes an application to the court of jury tampering. The judge will stop that whole proceeding and conduct an investigation. That is the law. But when there is no complaint, while the jury have been pulled and then the verdict have been recorded and the parties have given thanks to the juror and they disbanded the juror and they go into their private life, you cannot. Because it is issue of jurisdiction. The authority to call a jury about a proceeding in a February term of court is an issue of jurisdiction. The judge presently has no jurisdiction to review a proceeding of the last term, February term. He has no jurisdiction. He's a fine gentleman. He's a fine judge, smart judge, eloquent judge. But in this one, he's in error. He's in error. This is not with any disrespect to him. We appreciate him. We really admire him with the manner and form that he conducted the trial. And he did it well. Any attempt for somebody to come and impress on the court to reverse a litigation that has gone through due process consistent with the Constitution and calling for an investigation is an attempt to even ask the judge to undermine his own decision. And we as arm of the court will not allow that to sit here, and that's why we went to the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court speak. We don't want favor from the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court must look at the law. That's what we want. And that's what the Supreme Court is all about. The law. Go and look at the law. They will look at the law and say, oh, yes, this is the law. And yeah, no, this is not the law. Finish. So that is what we call you for. And so on that basis, we want to say to you that we have filed a petition for the issuance of the writ of prohibition before the Honorable Supreme Court, and that there is a stay order on the investigation because this is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. We cannot change the laws because of Samuel 12. We can't do that. The country will stay, we will go. We need to be reminded by history. There were powerful people in this country. Some of us who were young, little bit older in age, in the 80s, we saw people, men that we saw in this town. Certain time came, we saw them, that they were people who have never served government before. Government will come and government will go, but this is the law. We can't change the law. This is a witch hunt. Imagine. Immediately after the verdict, the next day we receive a call and a letter, summary, the former finance minister for another criminal investigation. You don't have to be a politician or a political scientist to understand that this is not a witch hunt. This is witch hunt. This is witch hunt. If I were a prosecutor, I would not issue that kind of assignment or request. But this is witch hunt. And we listen to some practitioners even are inviting the finance minister. They say, even if they get you get authorize the money to go to somebody, spending agency, your duty is to follow up with that spending agency and ask them how they spend the money. Is that the authority under the PFM law of the Minister of Finance? No. The Minister of Finance, his authority is to spend the money, and when he's spending the money, he must have the authorized authority. Who is responsible? The spending agency must account for how they spend the money. That's why we'll have the GAC to conduct audit. So this is witch hunt. So when somebody tells me that because the finance minister authorized expenditure and you are going to make a follow-up, you kidding me? The finance minister of the country? I don't understand. But this is not good for our democracy. For those who don't know, some who are actors in our body politics, some of them were not here when we're in the conflict. Nobody prays for conflict in this country. I always say it. I want our country peaceful. But the point is, we are thinking that we must not repeat the history, the wrongs of the past. The people who repeat the wrong of the past that caused them the problem, they are people who are ignorant. And many actors, some of them were even sucking breast when we're in the dilemma of the 14 years. So they did not understand the 14 years from 1990 to present, the dilemma, the catastrophe that we experienced. Some of the very people who are all around insulting people when you speak as a Liberian, where you are a citizen and it's your right to speak, some of them were even sucking breast milk. They never knew what happened here. So when you say something, instead of them to listen and learn, they refuse. But history tells us that history is a raw material for political science. Political actors must be people who must digest history. Because if you don't understand your history, when you're making political decisions, you have problems in your public policy decisions. So to be a public policy administrator, you must be somebody who understands the raw material for political science. And that raw material is history. And so you must know what went wrong. Where are we? Where do we intend to go? This decision is a revisitation of the factors of the dark ages of Liberia. And this is wrong. To weaponize a legal process simply because of a political agenda is counterproductive to the future of our country. People are following us. International actors are following us. Some people are operating, they don't understand. Why will you leave from here now? You start pressurizing people who are self-adjure, you go and go do something. You go rest something. You make sure you lie on the person. What is that? What is that? So that is why we have called you guys here. That this process is illegal. Samuel 12 is a free man. The fact that the verdict speaks to it. And the juror returned that day with a not guilty verdict. And the judge himself in open court declared that you are not guilty. And henceforth, leave from the prisoner bench and walk. You are a free man. Samuel 12 is a free man, along with Moses Cooper. And when we told the juror that day in the final argument that today we start at the beginning of the documentation of the check and balance of our democracy to determine whether or not we go back or we retrospect or regress to our dark days, or you put in a check and balance on powerful power or powerful executive that will manipulate a political process under the disguise of legal proceedings. And we told them that when you make that decision to free the defendants, you will know when you walk out there, the country will be rejoicing even up into the money, and it came to pass. You think this is a joke? This is history. We call it the opportunity of history unfolding itself. The jury has spoken. The people have spoken. There can be no whims and caprices, naked brute forces that can overturn, or direct the decision of the unanimous, of the voluntary verdict returned by the trial jury, the majority verdict. And so that's where we are. We'll take a few questions and then we can.
Thank you very much, Councillor. I'm Nelson Collier and I report for Spoon Network. And I have just two questions. I did hear you say that you don't believe that the judge presided over that case is the same judge who's proceeding this way. I also heard you say that you received intelligence that some of the individuals who serve as jurors are being threatened. Their jobs are at risk. And that brings me to my first question. Who do you think is the invisible hand?
Yes, the government wants Samuel 12 convicted. You are the children in grade school that are following the development, they will tell you. You tell this guy to say, the government wants Samuel 12 to go to jail. Even if Samuel 12 are going to be found hung Friday alone, meaning they can retry, you are going to celebrate. Not even a guilty verdict. But even if they are going to get one of the charges where 12 was convicted, it's a goal for them. And this is dangerous. It's the government. It is the government. The government is manipulating the case to overturn the verdict. And now we're not going to sit here to allow that. This is like, my brother, the country is small. We are interrelated, interconnected. News can high in this country. A small country. This country is small. We are all related. We one way or the other. That's why when I'm dealing with you, I gotta be careful the way I deal with you. Because it's possible somebody who is close to me may know you. I gotta be careful so I can bear my head down tomorrow.
The government is broad. The judiciary is there. The legislature is there. The executive there.
The executive branch of government through the prosecution is the one pushing this thing.
I think the president is in his lower class.
I don't want to go to that level because I don't get the evidence yet. But I am telling you, I'm going in the practice for almost 20 years. I am a criminal justice expert and practitioner and professor of criminal justice for 27 years from 1999. I have trained criminal justice practitioners that are keeping this country safe, who serve in the legal system, the criminal justice system, now as we speak. And I'm telling you, the executive has interest in this case, and they must find out that Samuel goes to jail. That is not a secret. And so the prosecution is under pressure.
So the president is pressuring the prosecution.
The executive. And sometimes, let me tell you something. You see, let me tell you something. When we're in school, the man knows I'm not a guy who bites my tongue. Maybe I will not get government job. I will just be doing my academic thing, bigoted. Let me tell you something. In Liberia, when the presidency is seated, sometimes the president may not be a bad person. The circle of advisors of the president have serious tendency and ability to influence the president, even when he does not intend to do certain things. Take it or leave it. All our presidents from time immemorial who have been presidents, you know who have given them the problems? The circle of advisors. They will have good intentions, but the circle of advisors. There are people who did not sit in this country when we experienced this thing. They are the same. Some of them were advocates in this country who preach multi-party democracy, who preach about multi-partyism. They are the ones that are sitting now on the first bench of the president. And they are the ones now misleading the president and misleading the executive to make decisions that keep the government looking back. Now, the reason some of our churches is not that we are against the government. We can be against government. Every government that comes in play, we pray for the government to be successful, because when the government is successful, the economy is open. So we, the lawyer, we make money. We operate instability. But when the government is proceeding in the manner and form that, because investors investigate first the rule of law, whether it is something that they must trust. If the investors read the reports and observe that the rule of law in that country is a problem, they never put their money there. That's the first thing they do. Yeah, let me get it.
Last question. You talked about the disbanding of the Judicial.
Yeah.
And that what is happening now is unconstitutional, is illegal, because it happened in the February term of court, and the jurors should not be called back
because they are disbanded.
Because they have been disbanded.
And they were February term jurors.
Yeah. Is there any specific law that backs that argument?
Of course. It's in our petition. That's why I just read some of the laws. I just read the law to you. I was citing Supreme Court opinions. Okay, let me read it again. Let me read one of the other ones that we copied from the American jurisprudence. They say United States Supreme Court. Let me read it so you can hear it, and then you can make a follow-up. Okay. Let me read the specific one recording the jury. In the case Death, D-E-R-T-Z, Death versus Baldwin, B-O-U-L-D-R and Baldwin. Command 579 U.S. 40, decided 2016. The United States Supreme Court recognized, they say, only a narrow and immediate authority to record jurors before meaningful separation, and before final discharge consequences attached. The court emphasized that once jurors have disbursed and resume private status, recall, meaning calling the jurors, becomes constitutionally dangerous and legally improper. That's the opinion.
That's an opinion.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, we get most of them. In the opinion, yeah. If you want a petition again, send it to you. You will see it. Yeah.
So, hello, my name is Aaron Kuba from DN News Liberia.
Yeah.
You cited the PFM law that talks about the finance minister is not the one to follow, disbursement when it's done. It can be the one going after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So my question here is, there have been this issue in the public that the finance minister repeatedly said that the former finance minister repeatedly said that this money was meant for security operation and it was spent that way. Just for clarity's sake, did he make that statement? And if so, don't you think?
No, we can litigate that issue now because it's on the minutes of court, and most of your colleagues were following the case. And he testified to that.
The public, for the sake of the public, they didn't make that.
Okay, so yeah, I think you speak to it.
Let me. I know the reason I was acquitted by the jurors is because they were convinced after 1 week of testimony on the authority and the powers given to the Minister of Finance by the Public Financial Management Law. All 15 of those jurors, I can tell you, are fully knowledgeable after that 1 week of testimony on the minister's authority. Specifically, if you talk to them, none of them can be misled. They were convinced, including the 3 jurors that found me guilty. Those 3 jurors that found me guilty themselves were convinced. But their actions now today show that they had another motive against me. All 15 jurors, by the time I testified, because the minister's authority is clear under the law. The minister is essentially I'm responsible for, Minister of Finance is responsible for managing the budget, executing the budget. The Public Financial Management Law says he can allot, re-allot, cancel, all that. A check can be on the verge of issuance. The central bank can be about to issue a check. The minister can place a call to the governor, discredit, cancel that check. It will be returned to the government. One man has authority. The only other person that has that authority is the president. But the law says the president delegates his authority to the minister. The jurors understood that. Authorized now. The law says once I lawfully authorize, lawfully means legally, with presidential authority, with legislative approval, with all of that, or consensus in the legislature that they are aware and say, Minister, you have to pay this money. Once I pay that money, the entity receiving the money is the entity we call the accountable entity. So this is where the 15 jurors understood that. The population where jurors are drawn from doesn't seem to understand that. This is an opportunity for me because all the 15 jurors are not experts in this business. And since they are drawn from the population, whether that subpopulation is the civil service or what other conglomeration, let it be clear that they understand that too. The reason we empower the General Auditing Commission is to audit entities that receive money. The audit of the Minister of Finance. When you audit the Minister of Finance, the audit of that minister is not the audit of the Ministry of Finance. You're getting? When you say, I want to audit the Minister of Finance, Gafwan, I want to audit Gafwan. And not Ministry of Finance, you audit Gafwan, because Gafwan himself does not even run Ministry of Finance. All that thing is just there, but the Deputy Minister of Control or the Minister of Finance. The audit of Minister Gafwan is the audit of the consolidated account. It is not an expenditure audit. The Minister of Finance is not an expenditure minister. He is a disbursing minister. Under rules, he gives Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture,
Minister of Defense, monies to spend. They will be audited to determine whether to use the money. So if those coming after me who want to subvert the Liberian Constitution today because of Samuel Tuer believe that they are coming after me, they are chasing ghosts.
The Minister of Finance, former Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Samuel Tuer, alongside his lawyer, Arthur Johnson, giving a news conference on the jury tampering investigation opened by Judge Usman Feka. We into our closing time, given the importance of the press conference, we will add 15 minutes and then we'll take few calls, and that way be doing it. You are listening to and watching King's 88.5 Real Talk with me, Sam Andrews, on this 20th day of May 2026. We are transmitting from Baptist Seminary, ABC Community, Painesville. So that was the minister, the former minister on the floor earlier, the lead lawyer, Arthur Johnson. He said they have taken the matter to the Supreme Court to place an injunction, and that injunction is in full effect that the Judge Usman Feka does not have jurisdiction. The juror was disbanded. They submitted, they were asked, they expressed their conviction that they were convinced that everything in a nutshell was okay. They had no reservation from them, no reservation from their legal counsel. And so the verdict was read according to Councillor Arthur Johnson. They were asked repeatedly along the line, and they remain definitive with the position that the equator or the position was just 100% perfect. Beyond that, after the verdict, they were disbanded, meaning they were not in full session again as jurors. They returned to their private lives. Hence, they cannot be recalled for investigation under no circumstance. So let's take few questions. Then we get out of here. The Minister of Finance, the former minister, is still speaking. But let's take a few calls. Let's hear your opinion on this. Just 5, and then we are out. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Andrew.
Yes.
This is James Pierre from Compound 3.
Let's hear you quick. You listen to Councillor Arthur Johnson and briefly the former minister, Tuer.
Yeah, I listened to him. You see the problem, the people, most of the people, they are not Jewish, but they want to interfere in the judicial system. And they have no right. You're a minister for water and sewer, but then you want command judge. You know what government run? They put up making big news that they make a black man to follow behind them.
Okay, Chief.
They say the new government. Yeah, I tell you, they say the new government. Nothing to know about government.
All right.
What a thief.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, listen, thanks for the last segment of the show. So I listened to the both audio and I was following the press conference. But I thought to say this, Sam. The law is the law. And what is written in the law cannot be changed overnight. The right senator got to go to the Supreme Court, and the lawyers, the prosecutor also has similar rights to either go to the Supreme Court or ask the lower court. So what I was saying, end on, let us give the process time. Let the law operate as it has started independently. I hope that we continue on such path. Nobody should buy sentiment here. Okay? Nobody should buy sentiment. The law is the law, and the law will prevail.
All right, thank you. Hello.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Andrews, I'm Spencer Mohammed, Governor down Coast Hill, a member of Constant Liberian. Mr. Andrew, firstly, I want to commend the ill and outstanding lawyer, Councillor for brilliantly deliberating and making us to understand the entire thing. I think now it is clear that the government is trying to whip up. But we want to tell them that the law is the law. I think my brother was saying, I think by this time you guys need to rethink your horizon.
All right, Chief.
To use you guys continually and don't want to change. I say thank you, Mr. Tua. You are a free man. Go and enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Yep. Yeah, fine, oh, fine.
I listened to my big brother, Mr. Johnson. He said it all. The only government called Boaka government, everything go backward. So the message not on the feet, almost send the narrative of the justice system. We want to come by and say, oh, you're not understanding what he's saying. Also, the man, you're going to bring a step backward, to go backward, it's dark side. They will say no. You want to put him in there because for nothing and the thing was clear. People can go back in the private land, then you bring them back here. That is wrong. They need to stop it. They need to stop it. And they stop it. Thank you. We're following.
All right, man, Sisi. Hello. Hello. You are on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, let's hear you. We have to go.
Yeah, but name is Ibrahim here on you for Clarity from the Bible headquarters. We say thank you, Council, for beating things in the head of those guys who want to go and do things that are wrong. We know that the whole case here, some people have won this case, but they want to do things partisan way that it will turn everything around. But God above, we know it will not happen. So thank you again for standing by the son of this country. Thank you.
Thank you all for spicing it up. That's all the time we've got. Thought to just give you the time to express your opinion, having listened to Councillor Arthur Johnson and briefly Samuel Twerk. The conference has ended. They have left. Detail of that will come on at 6:45 when Isiaka Sharif and Josephine Pello are in with CDC Hour. At 8 o'clock, you know exactly what it is. The man of the hour, the doctor of the night, the teacher of the land, the light of the nation, Anthony at Law, the evangelist, A.B. William, with Face the Issues. You don't want to miss it. If God permits, we're back tomorrow.
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5 for you.